Finally, thank goodness. This has felt like quite a week. I don't know about you. I'm in the house on my own for just a couple of hours. I finished up writing some gym programs, and I suddenly realised the light was going, so I thought I better crack on with filming today's little bit of Vlogmas. I've had a few more Christmas cards which I thought I would share. I love this one. Can you see? This is a picture of some historic clog dancers from a town near one of my friends from Ravelry. And then I have a lovely cheeky reindeer card from Sally. Hey Sally. I haven't written any of my cards yet, but you're on my list. And today's Advent parcel is one that I picked from my group of friends that we did the swap with, and today I picked a parcel from Charlie, and she included this rather lovely Christmas card for the RNLI, which is the Royal National Lifeboat Association. And we have a lifeboat station on Barry Island, and there's another one in Penarth near where Angela lives of Yarn and Yarns. So it's nice that there's money going from the sale of charity Christmas cards to the RNLI. So the little parcel comes in a very nice cream and gold paper bag with a shiny sticker, starting to look a lot like Christmas. Rustle, rustle. Ooh. There's a little leather tag. So presumably you could fold that in half and sew it on sort of the brim of a hat or the bottom of your jumper or something. That's lovely, thank you Charlie. And then, oh no, it's got, oh I see, right. There's two little screwy bits for the tag. Clever, clever. So one goes through there. You've got to line them up. Goodness, this is more complicated than I thought. Right, yeah, okay. So it would look like that. And then you screw this end on that end. Like that. Oh, that's clever. Right, I'm going to put that back in the bag before I lose it. And I have a little yarn nubbin. Ooh, this is a little sample of Winnet Mix, which is a 100% Lancashire wool, and it's a mix of Jacob, Texel and Blood Amain by Charlie Button Yarns. And there's the tag. Charlie, who is the yarn ambassador here on YouTube, and also Charlie Button Yarns, is one of my little group of friends that we did the swap with. So that is lovely. And I've never tried any of her yarn, so thank you, Charlie. I've had a thought. A friend gifted me the Sarah Shearer Mystery Gnome Along. And although it's is it the 4th of December? I think it's the 4th of December today. Yes, I haven't actually cast the pattern on yet. And I'm thinking that looks quite gnome beard appropriate. Excellent. Thank you, Charlie. So one of the things I thought I wanted to talk about for Vlogmas, and I thought I might as well do it today, is cooking. We're going to be having Christmas at home, just the 5 of us this year. I think we're going to head off to see Dave's sisters on Boxing Day, but Dave and I will be doing Christmas dinner for our little family at home. Dave used to work as a chef, so he's very good at cooking, and whenever there's big family get-togethers like Christmas or birthdays or anything like that, he really enjoys doing the cooking. And this weekend I thought we should probably sit down and organise the menu, because although he does like the big stuff like the meat and the vegetables and things, I tend to do the side bits and the puddings. And I thought I would share a couple of books with you that I go to every year, and one that I need to read. I can't really share the recipes with you, obviously, because they are in published books, but I'm sure you could find something similar. So, first of all, Delia Smith's Christmas. If you aren't in the UK and you haven't heard of Delia Smith, she was an incredibly popular and famous television cook in the 80s and 90s. She doesn't do so much now. I think she's getting on a bit, but she was hugely popular. Her success started in the 70s. And I've decided you can divide most of the UK into two halves along the lines of who is the author of their standard family go-to cookbook. You're either Delia Smith, who obviously is the superior cook, or you're on Team Mary Berry, who I'm sure you've all heard of because of the Great British Bake Off series. But I am a Delia Smith fan. I remember growing up, actually I've got them on the shelf, bear with. I've just knocked the tomato feed off the shelf, sorry. Growing up, I remember my mum having the Delia Smith complete cookery course, and it was a thick, hardbound cookery book. And when I moved out to university, my mum, the book was originally released in 3 parts, which I didn't know. And my mum had bought the first 2 parts separately back in the day. And then when all 3 parts were published together in one book, she'd bought that hardback copy, and that's the bit that I remember from growing up. That's the book we always used. And when I moved out to Cardiff University, which was 1998, my mum gave me her original Delia Smith Complete Cookery Course Parts 1 and 2. Oh look, there's a picture of her on the back. Oh look, you can see how 1970s it was. And these really are an absolutely brilliant introduction to basic cooking. So let's have a look. Oh, first published in 1979, which was the same year I was born. So this is 41, nearly 42 years old. And I think my copy is a 1980 reprint. So she gave me parts 1 and 2 for when I moved out, and they're very precious to me. I do use them regularly. And I remember one Christmas, she offered to buy me the complete book, and I said, no, I like having your old ones. So she eventually hunted me down part 3. Anyway, so yes, we are a Delia Smith family. And Delia Smith has this Christmas cookbook. And there are a couple of recipes in here that I use regularly. One of which is her homemade Christmas mincemeat. Now this one I know is also available on the internet. So if you Google search Delia Smith mincemeat, it is this recipe. So that's the one that I use. And usually I make a ton every year. Like I make, goodness, maybe 10 jars worth, maybe 10 pounds worth, and I give it to friends as Christmas presents. And I usually give some to my mum, and then I make mince pies with it, and I also stir it into my porridge in December. So I enjoy that. I haven't made any yet this year. I've been rather behind in everything, so I might make some mincemeat this year, and maybe I'll film it for you guys. The other recipe in here that's an absolute British classic is she has a separate chapter for pickles, preserves and chutneys, and she has a Christmas chutney in here that's, yeah, a great household favourite. And it's prunes, dates, apricots, onions, cider vinegar, ginger, allspice berries and demerara sugar. Really nice with cheese and crackers. I enjoy that one very much. And the other really nice thing about this book, well, and her complete cookery course, is she assumes no knowledge on your part, and she really walks you through every stage of everything. So if you just want to know how to cook a basic chicken casserole, she leads you by the hand through it. She also has sections talking about cuts of meat and slow cooking and basic utensils. It's really good. But what I love about this book is that she has a chapter called The Last 36 Hours. You see? And she literally walks you through the last couple of days before Christmas and the timings for the whole lot. So she has a section called Christmas Eve before you go to bed, and Christmas Day early morning, what time is lunch? The specific timings that follow are those tested over years in our house. But because lunchtime will vary from family to another, you can adjust these timings to suit yourself. With young children, you will doubtless be up early and want to eat lunch reasonably early. With older children, it's not quite so important to open the presents at the first light of dawn. For an average family-sized £14 turkey, I'm calculating for a 2 p.m. lunch. If you plan to eat half an hour later or earlier, simply add or subtract 30 minutes to or from my timings. And then she actually takes you through these chapters. This one says Christmas Day, 7:45, preheat the oven. And then she has Christmas Day, 8:15 a.m, get cracking on the bread sauce. Christmas Day, 12 noon, fill a saucepan quite full with boiling water. Put it on the heat, add a steamer and turn it down to a gentle simmer. Put the Christmas pudding in the steamer. So she literally runs you through the actual timings to eat Christmas dinner at 2 p.m, which I think is fabulous. The other book I bought, I've had this for quite a while, I can't remember where it came out. Nigella Lawson, Nigella's Christmas, if you have heard of her. She was another big British sort of celebrity chef. Well, not a chef, she's a cook. A subtle but important distinction. And she has some lovely, slightly fancier recipes in here. I have done her aromatic Christmas ham before now. Is that in shot? I can't see. And the other thing I did was some chocolate pots. We did a big staff Christmas do at the house donkeys years ago. And I made chocolate pots for pudding. So that's the other Christmas cookbook I use. Again, it's a fabulous book. There's loads and loads of really good recipes in there, including things like easy kitchen supper, party food, and Christmas cocktails and things like that. So again, another really good fun book. And lastly, I have got Nigel Slater's The Christmas Chronicles. This was published a few years ago. It's much more recent. And this is the one I want to read. And it says on the front, notes, stories, and 100 essential recipes for midwinter. So it's not just Christmas. And as well as being a fantastic cook, he is also a very good writer. So there are lots of recipes in here, but he also has just more general writings in here, and the pictures that go with it are absolutely beautiful. So it's a real pleasure to dip in and out of. And I just wanted to read you a smidgen from the very beginning. The flavours of winter come at us like paper-wrapped presents in a Christmas stocking. Ginger, aniseed, cardamom, juniper and cloves. The caramel notes of maple syrup, treacle, butterscotch and the damp muscovado sugars. Winter cooking is clouds of mashed potato flecked with dark green cabbage, roasted onions glistening like brass bed knobs and parsnips that crisp and stick molasses-like to the roasting tin. The food of the cold months is fatty cuts of meat, the flanks, shins and cheeks that we can leave to braise unhindered in a slow oven with onions and thyme, wine and woody herbs, plodding silently towards tenderness. Meat you could cut with a spoon. Winter cooking is ham with a quince paste crust, game birds with red currant jelly. treacle sponge and Leberkuchen, mince pies and marmalade tarts. Winter food is about both celebration and survival. It is about feasting, roast turkey, plum pudding and fruitcake. It's about frugality, bean soups and mugs of miso broth. It is the food of hope, lentil soup for good luck on New Year's Day, and the love of food, the mug of hot cardamom spiced chocolate you make for a loved one on a freezing day. I think I'm going to love this book. I've got to nip back and pick the kids up from the gym after they've finished training, and then I think I'm going to pour myself another bath and flick through my recipe books and make a few plans for the weekend. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed today's little video, please give me a thumbs up and click subscribe, and let me know what your family classic cookbooks are. I know about the British names, you know, Mary Berry and Delia Smith. What are the American versions? What are the Australian versions? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.